We do this too, we're bringing that fire. Talking real talk, Kentucky's on fire. From bourbon to ball games, we got that flow. On the We Do This Too podcast, yeah, you know. From country roads to the city lights, they bring the heat, man, every night. We do this too, let's make it clear. If you ain't listening, you ain't here.
Welcome back, y'all. It's another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. And as always, we are presented to you in partnership with brands that we feel represent the very best of the outdoor industry. So before we get started, we'd like to give a special shout out to Moultrie Products, Ullers Archery, Threads Custom Bowstrings, G5 Outdoors, Blackburn Apparel Company, Deer Pip Scents and Lures, Vision Clothing, Bluebird Waterfowl Company, Angry Chicken Outdoors, Alps Outdoors, and last but certainly not least, a special shout out to the good folks over at Briley's for leaving a legacy of shooting innovation. Whether you need new cameras to elevate the scouting experience, new arrows, or anything for your archery setups, clothing, scent, or whatever it may be, as a supporter of the podcast, you can use promo code WDTT promo. That's WDTT promo for 15% off anything on the website at ullersarchery.com. Some exclusions may apply. With that being said, let's dive into another episode of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast with your host, Mr. Courtney Williamson. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Williamson. I've got a super special guest on today. Seen this man's TikTok, or his Instagram, I should say. He's doing a lot of things in the archery world, man. Especially for, the African-American community, man. He's a bow hunter just like me. He's doing some good things. He's got 2 on the ground so far, he said. He's trying to get at least 4 to 5 in the freezer because that's what they eat all year, man. Mr. William Alderman, brother. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you speaking very highly. I'm not sure all that I'm doing in the archery community just yet, but definitely want to do some more fun stuff. But man, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. It's always good to see another archer in the community, man, doing big things. No matter what you shoot, whether you're a Matthews guy, a Hoyt guy, Bowtech, like it's always good to see another brother with a bow, man. So kudos to that, man. But
totally agree.
Yeah, man. So just introduce yourself, man, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling.
Yeah, man. I guess I about gave the elevator speech like if I was about to go into an interview. Hey, I grew up from a 2-family home, all the fun stuff. But no,
you can get into that. I don't care.
No, there's no need for that. But yeah, no, my name is William Alderman. I do have a YouTube channel and an Instagram. The YouTube channel is self-titled. I just really tracking my journey as it relates to archery. I just find it just a fun hobby in the last 5 years. Just been diving headfirst into it, trying to learn more from the hunting side first and foremost, in regards to how it all started, but now getting into the competition side and really wanting to crack the bug of whether it be the ASAs or the indoors with TSO or Lancaster or Vegas, just really wanting to chase that idea of perfection, and just the idea of just learning how to execute a great shot over and over and over again, and knowing when something happens wrong, knowing why it happened, and then being able to fix it. So that's really where we're kind of on the journey, and just trying to give tips and tricks along the way, things that I'm learning, and whether it applies to somebody else, great. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay too. So
that's what's up. Yeah. So as a hunter, I got into the game, the archery game. I got into it kind of late. I got into it in college, but I've been hunting since I was a kid. I grew up hunting small game with my dad and stuff. My dad and my uncles, but archery came a little later. Shout out to Clay Kirby. He's the guy that got me into it. But
got it.
Coming from the ASA side of me, I don't shoot ASA anymore. My best friend's got that on lock right now, but it is a whole different ball game. I shot non 40 for a year. And it was a whole different beast. Like from the setup to the bow to the execution of the shots, to trying to find them little rings, you know, and
that pie plate
man,
disappears. That pie plate
it's
is not good
like,
enough.
you know, I wear glasses and I was using a 6X clarifier, you know, lens, and I'm just like, how am I not hitting where I'm supposed to hit? Like,
I
this is
swear my pin's
ridiculous.
on it.
But
Yeah.
I could go in the backyard with my hunting bow at 40 yards without a pin, and I'm hitting, you know, everywhere I want to hit. So
Yes.
definitely know the struggles of the ASA world and the hunting world both, man. So
Yeah.
good luck in the ASA world. I
I
haven't shot
appreciate it.
IBO yet. I've shot a lot of 3D archery. That
Okay.
was a thing that I started off, man. So I went to a total archery challenge in 22 in Belvedere,
Okay.
Tennessee, with my best
Yeah.
friend. I'm like,
Hey,
coming
yeah.
from a rifle standpoint, I was like, this is about to be stupid. I don't want to do it. Got down there, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I shot Saturday, and I ended up about killing myself on this mountain down there.
Oh, I heard a
Uh,
story about that on one of your podcasts.
yeah, and twisted my knee. You know, so Sunday I was like, I'm out. I'm just gonna shoot the practice course. You know,
Practice
so I'm
range.
shooting the
Yeah.
practice course, and you know, people's like starting to like get like crowd around me, and I'm like real claustrophobic. I don't like a lot of people around me like it.
Uh-huh.
Getting closer and closer and closer to me, and you know, I put my hand on Petey. I ain't got to explain to you who Petey is. I'm about to like, what's going on?
I put my head on PD.
They was like, no, bro. Like, we're good. And it was this dude. I want to say his name was Tyler. But he was from Clanton, Alabama. And he was like, hey, man, I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not trying to be whatever. I didn't know black people did this kind of thing. And my first response to him was, yeah, man, we do this too.
We do this too.
That's where the name generated from at that Total Archery Challenge. And then after that, man, we got to talk about hunting and everything, and like what you will learn in the archery community from the target archer side, especially in the target archer side. Like that community over there is the most giving, helpful people that you will ever like associate yourself with. Now the hunting side, you're gonna get some assholes every now and then talking about why did you kill this spike and why did you shoot this deer and whatever. But like the target community, man, they're super helpful. They don't give a dang what color you are, you know, how tall you are, how short you are. They're super helpful, man. And there's a lot of OGs out there that will literally give you the game if you'll just be willing to sit down, talk to him, and break bread with him. You know, just listen to him or her. You know, when you find that one person, man, like tune in and like he'll give you or she'll give you some tips to really help you elevate your archery game for sure.
Wow, that's real. That's very real. And
yeah,
honestly,
man.
There's so many resources, just like even not finding like the people, if you will. There's so many like top level archers that are making videos. I mean, there's one video of Kyle Douglas. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he's a professional archer, and that dude. Like, there's a video that he did with goodness gracious, another YouTuber where he's just building the guy's like V3X, and so it was an old video. But the nuggets that he drops in that video, if you just listen to it along the way, where he's talking about this is how you grip the bow, this is my process, this is what I would encourage anybody. Oh, well, you're creating too much pressure here, like draw down. Like I remember when I first started like hunting, when I first got my Matthews V3X, which is why that video even popped up, because I was searching everything that I could find on that bow. I started running into a lot of like just other archers that were already doing it at a very, very high level. And so that's where like I remember my first video that I did on YouTube. I was like, man, I just want to take whatever information I might be learning and regurgitate it, because like whether I'm learning it myself, and a lot of the stuff that I'm learning now is a lot of just trial and error. But I mean, if I could, just as a teacher myself, if I can put it in a different way or make it a little bit more palatable, to where it's a little bit more organized, and no, I'm trying to deliver this particular message so that you leave one being like, oh, okay, this guy can actually kind of shoot, so maybe he can kind of back it up, but then also leading that on with, but this is why and how I'm doing it, whether it would fix your thing, like how do I grip the bow now, and little things like that, little nuances along the way, which always just to me make archery so fun, because there's the right way to do it in regards to generically, but at the end of the day, everybody's going to do it a little bit different, and there's some guys like me that are going to punch the trigger, then there's guys that just believe in a surprise release, and I think all of those are effective ways as long as you understand your mentality and the way that you want to shoot, and so yeah, this is all fun and games until you can't fix it. And then it's like, well, I need to find the solution. I think the biggest thing at the end of the day is always realizing, no, like you are the solution. Take your time, work through it, and try not to get frustrated. And I think that's where a lot of us lose the battle, is we just get so bent out of shape and so frustrated because we can't find the solution right now. But that's all the beauty of it, though. I think that's where it's like, that's when you got to put a big old smile on and say, this is what I
Yeah.
signed up for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 I
Especially when it comes to
am.
broadhead tuning, at least when you first
Oh,
start.
dude,
Shooting a
don't
fat
get,
old fixed blade, you'll
dude.
be chasing your tail for a long time.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, you know, I am still to this day coming from target archery, where I started off, you know, I've always been an index guy because I've
Yeah.
got some shoulder issues, but I went to a thumb
Okay.
button there for a while, and I was punching, 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 punching. Even still to this day, I wouldn't say I've mastered the punch, but I've
Yeah.
used when I'm punching the trigger now. I know exactly usually where it's going. Like I wouldn't say I've
Okay.
mastered, like I said, mastered it, but when I punch it, I
You got an
know
idea
I'm gonna be in the ballpark. But
for sure.
um, I
Good,
tried
good enough to
to,
hunt with.
yeah, good enough to hunt with. But I've tried every release known to man. It seems like,
Hmm.
and it, the resistance releases, where you
Yep.
super surprise shot,
Yep.
from the indexes to the hinge releases. First time I ever shot a hinge release, I about owed one of my best friends that I get my bows and stuff from. Shout
Yeah.
out to Dylan Gilbert. I know you're listening to this. I about owed him and his dad about 15 brand new LED lights in his shop.
Ah!
Uh, it was real close, and by the grace of the
Oh my
Lord,
gosh.
I didn't have to buy him no new. His dad had just bought new lights for the shop, and he's got
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
indoor range back there, about 25 yards.
Oh, that's dope.
And that index, man, I did it the wrong way, and that arrow took off. And here's the light, there's the arrow right under the light, man. And I'm
Oh
talking
my
about
gosh.
just another half inch
Struggle.
up, dude. It was
Struggle.
bad, but
The struggle is real.
it's that whole shot sequence, man. Like my best friend literally had to, because I got him into archery, but he
Mhm.
took off with it to another level. Like he's a way better shot than me now. I used to be a way better shot than him. Now he took it to another level. Like he's like, bro,
Yeah.
we got to break this thing down to the beginning. I know you've been shooting for a long
Yeah.
time, but we got to take you back to
Yes.
blank belling. We've got to take you back to the beginning.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm not going all the way back here. I'm just going to figure out this punch, and we're going to go with it. But so let's go for you. Let's start all the way to the beginning. Like
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
your first, like, why did you get into archery? Like what first sparked your interest for you to be like, hey, I wanna be an archer.
Yeah, so I mean, since the beginning, growing up watching Lord of the Rings, Robin Hood especially the live action, just watching them. There's a scene where they're like building all their like arrows in the woods and their spears and stuff like that, and they're just about to go to war, and like there's something about like that resonated with me. And as a kid that was homeschooled his home life, had plenty of time on his hands, I was literally building all of my stuff. We didn't grow up with a whole lot of money. And so if I wanted it, I was building it, and not saying that I was going out and getting a bunch of wood from the store and carving it into whatever. No, like in Florida, I was literally cutting off palm trees and bending them, taking my shoelaces. And I know it might sound crazy, but literally I had bows that were strong enough, and I had like these carbon fiber rods that came. Have you ever been on a soccer field? You know, they have those long carbon fiber
Yeah.
rods. Like
Yeah.
I
I
found
talking
like
about.
three of those. I found three of those in my neighborhood. And then with us being homeschooled, we had like arts and crafts and like little stuff like that. So I literally had like feathers that I put on the back of it, sawed out the middle, and then went on the concrete, sharpened the point, and it was sharpened like literally like poundage was strong enough to actually shoot those into trees. So like it was sticking and flying the way I wanted it to after all that time I spent building those things, to where kids started coming up to me in the complex, in the apartment complex, saying, dude, can you teach me how to like, can you teach me, can you make this? Yo, would this stick make a good bow? And so I think like growing up, doing all of that, I was really, really interested. But as I said, just never really had the money, never really was around like the outdoors life until I got into high school. And then got into high school and we moved out to a little bit more of a country part of Florida. And then, which is like Hernando County, Brooksville area, if you know it. And then being out there, I remember being at a car wash. My dude came in his camos. He was, if dude that I play football with, we were doing a fundraiser, and he had a hog, and he had the head sitting on top, and it was all the meat inside. He was like, yeah, man, like I was able to hunt this. And so like all these little nuggets along the way were kind of building up. And then finally graduated college, stopped playing football, just was kind of in that transition period of my life, after like pursuing arena football and all of that, like CFL. And I was like, I need something that I can still like do better at, like compete in, because beating up my body, working out super, super hard was kind of a loss. And so then I remembered, oh, I have a job and I could go on Facebook Marketing and try to find a bow. And so that's when I
Yeah.
actually ended up getting a Martin Panther, and then started shooting that for a while. And kind of the rest was history. My neighbor, Alfredo Donato, my guy, really good guy, actually hooked me up with my first introduction into real hunting. But that was my introduction into archery, and that's how everything kind of blended together in the long haul. So plenty more to that story, but I think the summarized version that definitely wraps everything up.
So getting into the, building your own, bows, arrows and stuff as a kid, then, buying your first bow off a, marketplace or whatever. So
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
that first moment where you said to yourself, okay, this is something I love. This is something I'm going to keep pursuing.
Yeah, I think the first moment, when I realized that it was something that I could like really get good at was, so I talked about Alfredo, but then there's another guy that we also like do like cookouts every once in a while, Aaron, and he was like a really good shot. I remember like us just kind of chilling, and I just ran out there, watched them shoot, and I grabbed my little bow, which mine was broken at the time. But I was like, yeah, this is what I was shooting, but I broke it because I was trying to press it and DIY. Had my own issues, but I was like, man, I just really, I want to watch y'all. Like, and it was like, cool, yeah, you can join us or whatever. And so I'm like watching them shoot, and I'll never forget, like at like 20 yards, him going and grabbing his arrows and just grabbing them all with one hand and pulling them out. And there's something about that like sparked something inside me that was like, oh, I can do that. Like, and if there's other people
For
doing
sure.
this, like if he can do it, I can do it, and I want to do it better. And so then my mind started spiraling, and then I started finding like all this other stuff about like how good people could be. And then I was like, oh, this is it. And realistically, that was just like the hunting side, because I'll watch just trying to learn like the fundamentals of that. But then after my first year of hunting, that's when I really started doing a deep dive of like archery community type stuff. And that would have been around like 2001. So you talk about you getting in late. I got into hunting and archery all at the same time. I skipped gun and everything, and just was like, man, this is the way I want to hunt, because this just makes sense to me. So
Yeah, I heard that. All right, we're back.
All right.
Well, yeah, man. I forgot where we were. My bad.
You had asked. No, you're good. You had asked me where it all started. I think was the last thing in regards to
Oh
archery
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
hunting. I think that was the
So
last
your
one.
your first bow setup you said was a Martin Panther, right?
Yeah, so that was my first like compound bow, but what I actually hunted with for the first year, because I blew that up. As I said, there's a lot of stories, but yeah, but what I actually started hunting with was a DXT, Matthews DXT, set up at 29 inches, which I had no idea before
Right.
beforehand. But yeah, that's what I did my first year hunting with.
I got you. What's your real draw length? About 30, 31, 32?
My real draw length is 31 and a half, maybe 32. I want to get the new title because I shot my dude or a dude at an ASA. You talk about being real like, hey man, I got you whatever you need. And he was shooting at 32 and that felt a lot more comfortable. But I don't know. I'm somewhere around 31 and a half to 32 inches.
So I'm right at 30, 30 and a half, just depending on the bow.
Yeah.
Usually when I'm hunting, um, I will I'll use like 30, right at 30.
Hmm.
But if I'm using, a compound or not a compound, but a target bow, I'm usually at about a 30 and a half.
Yep. So you can kind of
Usually
read
got it
that
set at about
settle.
60 pounds. If I'm shooting like in an ASA or something, and usually when I'm
Okay.
not shooting ASA, I'll either go from to 65, maybe 70.
Okay.
Um, but you're a Matthews guy. I can tell that. I can see from everything that you got on. So I
Oh
just I
man.
just got the Lift X about uh
Hey.
3 months ago, probably. So I went
Yeah, you
from
you're bougie.
I mean, no, don't call me that because I got a, I got, I had some issues with Matthews there for a while. So my first target bow that I had, well, let's go back to the beginning. When I first started shooting, I was a Bowtech guy, and back in
Okay.
them days, Bowtech was known for breaking limbs and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I broke like 3 limbs. Then me and my best friend happened to be at a bow shop about 20
Mhm.
minutes outside of Bowling Green, Kentucky. We went to Western Kentucky University, so we went out there, a place called Hunter's Den. They're a Matthews
Okay.
dealer. That's when the
Yeah.
V3 had just came out, and I'm a sucker for bright orange, bright green strings. And they had a
Nice.
V3 31 that a guy he basically custom ordered it, but
Okay.
he paid some money and then couldn't pick it up. So I said, "Hey, I want to shoot that bow." And he's like, "Well, I got one in the back that's set up already. Go shoot it and see if you like it." So I was like, "Okay, I like the draw cycle. I like the way it shot." So I ended up taking that bow for like 700, 800 bucks out the door.
Whoa. Brand
Um,
new.
Brand new, fully customized, everything. He set everything up for
Golly.
me. But I didn't like I liked the 31, but I was like, man, I really would like something at least a 33 axle to axle.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so the V3X came out. So
Yep.
I traded it off, got the V3X. Love that bow. Probably one of my favorite bows of all time from Matthews.
That's
And then
exactly what
the
I'm
Phase
thinking.
4 came out. Traded the V3X for Phase 4. Hated it. Didn't
Ugh.
like the Phase 4 at all.
Yep.
Went back to a V3X. Had it for a while. And then I was like, hey, I want to try the Target world. So I bought
Yep.
an older model
TRX.
TRX 8,
Yep.
which is a 40 axle to axle. I was
Yep.
having limb issues. I was having cam issues with it.
All the
V3X
feelings went
started
bad on you.
acting silly. And so I went to PSE after it,
Hmm.
went to Prime after that, went back to Bowtech, Now I'm back to Matthew. So now I own a Lift X. I own a Prime. I can't remember what model it is right now. I'm drawing a blank, and then I've got a Bowtech Justice. So I kind of dabble back and forth between those three.
Man, 3
And my
boats.
son
I
has
don't even know how I
the new
manage
Prime. Basically wherever I'm going, like a lot of times. So I've now realized that since I primarily ground blind hunt, so I'm used to like 12, 15-inch stabilizers, but I now know that if I'm in a blind, 10 is the max that I need for the front and the back, maybe an 8.
Yeah, I would just throw a fat,
Just
fat light
because
bar on.
getting hit on stuff and making noise and whatever. So I'm just like, so it just depends. Like in the morning, I'm probably gonna take my Bowtech with me. But the Lift X, it stays in the truck, just just for backup. But first day I went out this year.
X. Hold on. Yo, my dog just said you have a Lift X just sitting in your truck just for backup. And you said don't call you bougie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it stays in
That's some next level.
It stays in
That's some next level stuff right there.
Hey, bro, I'm the guy. You can ask any of my friends. I don't pay full price for any of my bows. I'm a barterer. So if I trade. I'm one of the cheapest people you ever meet in your life. But the first day I went out,
cheap.
The first 2 times I went out, I am cheap. I am very cheap.
Frugal.
I traded.
You buy quality. It sounds like you
to get my Lift
quality. X. Well,
I trade for quality.
That's exactly.
I trade for quality. So I might have $300 in that Lift X.
Bro, you did it right.
Maybe 3.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I got maybe 350 in the Bowtech. I have nothing in the Prime.
Okay.
So, but like the first couple times I went out this year, I had the Matthews in my hand. Yeah. I was just like, you
just didn't enjoy
I haven't really, well, put it this way, I haven't shot it as much as the Prime and the Bowtech to feel comfortable with it yet.
No, that makes sense.
That way.
That makes sense. What's the axe on it?
So,
did you get the 33 on that one?
In the morning, I probably would grab the Bowtech or the Prime. But yeah, man. So what's the biggest like part of archery? The biggest part of archery so far, that's like been like the hardest part for you to learn, taking off pretty much. Like, is it the form, the patience, like tuning, dealing with your misses, the punching? Like, what's been the hardest part for you?
Yeah, I guess like, I don't know. I guess everything in phases. I can't really pinpoint the hardest. I guess everything. Trying to think of how to answer that, because I think about the beginning, and then just wanting to send a bunch of arrows and just literally rushing home during my lunch breaks and just shooting like god awful amounts of arrows, then running right back to work, and then the idea of like target panic. That wasn't really a thing. Tuning was like a headache, but it was never like, I guess like the biggest like lesson I learned, especially coming from like athletics, where emotion for like football was like a positive. I think the biggest thing that I had to learn early on when it comes down to archery is like, yeah, that doesn't help. Like, not that I can't still feel, and like, it's not like I have to like completely shut out like how I feel. Like, I'm just an emotional guy. Like, that just is what it is. But I still like for example, before football games, like especially big games, but mostly any game, I just would like rep like things in my head until my heart rate, like I would just be sweating in like pregame meetings, and then I'll be like, yeah, it's time to go. And then I'd literally like start crying sometimes because then I'd be thinking about like something that happened to my family or whatever, just something that gives me a little bit of like an emotional edge. When I think about archery, it's like the complete opposite. Like I have to get to, people talk about like that meditation state, that like Zen state of just like, no, I just need to worry about this arrow. Man, that sucks. I just missed, but it's all good. Like learning how to kind of tap into that guy and more often. And then it's like, man, I'm shooting super, super clean, super clean. And then it's like, but that doesn't matter. Like just stay present. It's like learning. If I again relate it back to like football, it's just the easiest thing for me because that's just what I grew up doing. Um, but when I think about football, it's kind of like a cornerback. Like everybody would tell him, "Hey, bro, I know you just got bombed on. You just got topped, and somebody just caught it right over your head." But at the end of the day, you have to reset, or they're gonna come and do it again. It's like to learn how to do that
Yeah.
in a very practical, like, oh, you have to send another arrow, like right now. And that's why I actually like the indoor game more than I like the 3D game, just because you're sending more arrows and you have to deal with your mental a lot more. Um, and just actively stay in it and stay in it and stay in it. And then it's a long pause. And then you have to stay in it again. To me, there's something that kind of resonates with me because it's like learning how to kind of master myself in a whole different avenue. I say it all the time, but like jack of all trades, master of me. It's like the idea is like if I can really refine like the way that I want to think, it's like, yeah, I love being able to be emotional and like jump up and down and be excited. But if I can also learn how to be the still and the calm, because I think it also relates back to same thing in the household. Like if my family and my wife is going through like God knows what, I mean, she's pregnant about to give birth. Like if I don't know how to regulate my own emotions, like what good am I to my household? And so if I can use archery to help me like stay in those types of mindsets, but also there's weightlifting. Okay, well, I'm under the weight. I don't need to be super zen when I'm about to move a lot of weight. And so it's like learning how to tap into all those facets of like the human person that I am. That really, really excites me about archery in itself and kind of learning the things that don't apply to archery. I think was the hardest, if you will, but I still wouldn't necessarily call it hard. I think it was just the most important lesson that I learned along the way.
Okay. So pick your brain here for a second.
All
So
right.
one piece of advice you wish someone had given you before you picked up your bow.
And it kind of got a little glitchy. I'm gonna repeat the question. You can confirm if I heard it right. One piece of advice that I wish I had received before I picked up my a bow. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I had a little glitch right there. So
all right, cool, cool, cool. No worries. I just want to make sure I was hearing it right. I didn't want to like, well, what's your favorite season? Well, or what's your favorite day of the year? And then I give a total wrong answer. Gosh, I think if it came down to one piece of advice that I wish that I received, um, that there's not one exact way to do it. I think like, but I don't know. I think that's a good way to start actually. So I probably wouldn't have wanted to hear that. But I say that just because I think so many times, as like a new archer trying to get it exactly right, you're trying to find the answer out there. And it's like, what is the way? What is the way? I want to do it the right way. And I think once I realized, like, oh, no, watch the pro archers, just watch the line and see how different they actually are. And realizing like these guys are very high level, killing it and doing it over and over and over again. And a lot of them look different. You got guys literally doing back bend shooting, and then you have like the most technical, proper shooters as well, and they're losing to punchers. And so it's just like at the end of the day, learning the fundamentals, the things that just need to be concrete. The idea of I needed to learn the rules, so learn the rules, but then understand that there's some plenty of room to bend them. I think would probably be after working through all that, probably would be my bit of advice to myself that I wish I received and found out along the way.
Yeah, my when I first got into archery, I wish somebody would have told me there's going to be a lot of it's a especially in the archery game, the target archery game. It's mental warfare. Is like
Mm,
what I like to call it.
yeah,
A lot of mental goes in that game. It's just not a lot of times you're outdoors shooting and you're just shooting for fun.
yeah,
You're not really thinking about your shots. Like you are, but you're more having fun. But when you're actually
yeah,
competing against somebody, coming from a baseball and basketball background, like we're friends, but as soon as we walk in them woods, we're enemies.
yeah,
We're bad against each other, and you might have somebody back there talking crap to you while you're trying to shoot. So you got to go through all that,
yeah,
and your mental game starts going in. And then
yeah,
once you shoot 2 inches low and miss that 12 and get maybe an 8 or a 10,
yeah,
you're just like, oh man, what if I did this? And then you just start second guessing yourself the rest of the thing. And
yeah,
before you know it, you're 15 under.
yeah,
And like, man, what happened? And then the guy talking crap to
yeah.
you's 12 up. He's 212, and it's like, man, like
Gotcha.
I know, yeah. It's like you got me, but
Yeah,
yeah, that mental game, man, it's rough. And I tell a lot of people getting into the archery world, man, it's even from a hunting standpoint, like you're gonna have
yeah,
your misses. You're
yep,
gonna not shoot where you want to shoot, but you just got to keep practicing and keep pounding arrows in your backyard or wherever you
yes.
shoot from.
No,
So
that's real. And that's what I think that's where like a lot of confidence comes into play, just like anything, like if you think about it, just from any field of play, anything, when the fire gets turned on, the habits that you've actually created along the way are what's going to reveal themselves. And so I think like even in your practice, as you talked about, like, man, when I'm behind the house, I'm just kind of like just enjoying the archery. I think like learning little ways and little bits of nuance, whether it's like I've heard people talk about like, well, I used to just put dollars on the line and be like, man, I'll bet you for $1. But a lot of what I do is shoot them on myself. And so like that's where shooting for YouTube also creates some type of pressure, which is really, really awesome and actually panned out to really, really help out my first year of shooting competitively last year, because it wasn't a huge deal to feel like, oh, I can't edit this out. Like this is actually going to be seen. Like, and that's where I like if you've ever watched any of my videos, I try to keep it as consistent as possible so people know I'm not editing anything out. If it's a bad shot, it was a bad shot. Like it was a bad shot. I messed up. And so it gives like that little bit of pressure because then I get to rely and trust myself in the midst of the fire, if you will. Like if I'm going going into this competition and I want to shoot a perfect 330x like game. It's like if I want to accomplish that, I need to be able to take it one arrow at a time. But it's when, oh well, this kid gave me a compliment because he watched my YouTube channel and he was like, oh man, I really love your stuff. Like that's really cool. Can't wait to watch you shoot in real life. Oh shoot, now he's like, oh no, I gotta. It's like at that point, learning how to like channel that as early as possible in my practice has really, really been beneficial inside of all that as well. So just that like learning how to make fake pressure, um, because at the end of the day, it's just shooting a bow. Like it really doesn't have to be anything that's more complicated or
right,
more stressful. It's you with a stick and an arrow, and you're just trying to make that thing fly where you want it to fly. And if you relax and just let it do what it needs to do, if you've done the work, to me, I feel like it should work out, right? Like, and that's what I try to tell myself so that I stay relaxed. Whether but sometimes it's like, well, it's out of tune, or oh, I missed out. I think I need to double check this. It's like, no, just relax. Like you did the work already. Like just like we would tell our kids, like you did the work. It's a test. Just trust it. Whatever grade you get is whatever grade you were gonna get anyway. It's like you stressing is just gonna bring the grade down. And so just
Right.
trying to like keep that. And I think being a teacher also, when you're always trying to motivate kids and all of that, kind of
Oh yeah.
helps because you end up just, I just said that to whatever. Like I need to
Yeah.
remind myself this. So you're almost coaching yourself up on accident half the time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Especially, I don't know what subject you teach, but I've got the ISS room, so I got the in school
Yeah.
suspension kids. So when they get in there, man,
Yeah.
it's they're already on edge.
Yeah.
They got in trouble, so you gotta calm them down, talk to them, like, hey,
Yeah.
man, was that a good decision? What
Yes.
do we need to do not to make this mistake again? And
Yeah.
you just find that level ground, that middle ground with them, and you got them then. So,
Yeah. Nah, that's real.
but coming from an African American hunter slash
Yeah.
archer, have you faced any like type stereotypes or pushbacks from being a black outdoorsman? And if so, like how do you handle that?
Yeah. So honestly, I really can't say I have. I've been fortunate to kind of skate past a lot of those situations. Like as I said, the guy that actually introduced me into archery was an Hispanic dude. The other guy was a white guy. So kind of pretty diverse in my initial starts of archery community. And then outside of that, anybody I ever ran into, I mean, I've had like public land struggles of just like people threatening to shoot me, but that's not because they saw the skin. That's just because they saw the flashlight with me trying to track a deer on public
Right.
land, mind you. And they're just yelling
Yeah.
out with real like so. But beyond that, I mean, I can tell you about stories at TAC where I literally was sitting there waiting on my brother to come out of the restroom and this guy was just staring at me. And I actually in my head, I was thinking, oh, like he's trying to figure out what am I doing here? Like I don't belong here. And then his son gets out of the car and then he's like, hey man, I like your bow. And then turns out they both have been watching my YouTube channel and they're like, yo, we didn't want
Oh,
to like
got you.
be awkward about it, but we just wanted to talk to you and say, like, hey man, I like your stuff. People know what you're doing. And I was like, dude, my mind was like totally about to like eat myself alive, thinking that y'all were thinking like negatively. So I'm like awkwardly like, yo, this is weird. And then my brother comes out, and then we ended up having like a really dope conversation. And that happened a few times actually. And I think like for me, that's been like something that's always in the back of my mind. I think more so personally of like, man, I just want to make sure y'all know, like, just know I'm a shooter. Like, and I think that kind of is an extra motivator in some ways, but I've never directly felt it to where I'm like, oh yeah, these dudes are like really, really got it out for me. I think that I don't belong. It's like, nah, just see me shoot and we'll have conversation after type of deal. And I don't say that like boastfully or anything like that. It just tends to any circle that I end up walking in has been pretty calm, pretty chill, I guess.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming
Super
from the
fortunate.
archery, yeah, that's good. Like coming from the archery side, um, I haven't had any issues. Like I said, the archery
Yeah.
community has been super helpful and helped me out a lot. Now
Yeah.
back to the hunting world, I've had
Boy,
some
what
run
you doing
ins.
here?
Yeah, and I've
For sure.
and it was because me, I try to take everything, because I was raised, content of somebody's character. That's what you judge. You don't judge their skin color.
For sure.
But I've been in some situations where I've been cornered, had truck tire slashed, windows busted out, stuff like
That's
that.
terrible.
Simply
That's
because of what I
terrible.
look like. And um, I don't know if I've told the story before, but I'll probably end up telling it pretty soon on the podcast. I know I've told it
Mm,
off of off air before, but I was actually at a
yeah.
at a gun shop before, and I walk in, and the guy literally at the desk was like, "Do you know where you're at?"
Oh, I
I'm
think I
like,
had. I think I actually did hear you talk about that
and
before.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm in a different state that I'm not used to, but I'm a gun guy. I'm an
Yeah.
outdoorsman just like you, and I'm just checking out what guns and stuff you got. And he was just like, man, you don't belong here. And I'm like, okay, cool. And tried to walk out the door, and it seemed like the room was getting a lot smaller. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they was getting a
Yeah. Yeah.
little too close. And I've
Yeah.
been in the that's one reason I don't like hunting public land now is because
Dude,
of of
that's
those
crazy.
of those encounters I have, they were all on public land, and it's just
Yep.
like there's a public land that's real close to here, and they they really don't like they really don't like us over there, um, for that
Really.
reason. And a lot of my buddies hunt over there, and they're just like, man, come hunt with us. He will. I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable in that space
It's
over
like you
there.
drive your car.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'd
yeah, that's
say,
crazy.
but everybody, I grew up with a lot of my friends are Caucasian. I've got a lot of
Yeah.
Caucasian friends. I grew up around them, and the ones like around that I grew up around, I know, something goes down, they got my back. But like
Yeah.
some of these towns and stuff that my buddies want to go hunting in or duck hunting or whatever, like I literally have to do my research and be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really feel comfortable going. Like, man, we got your back. I was like, yeah, you got my back, I know, but I don't want to get myself into a situation where I might not come home.
Willingly choose that.
Yeah, I want to see my family, and
Yeah.
like I've said this plenty of times on my podcast, like I'm not trying to make my platform feel like I'm trying to be like racist or whatever. Like I'm just telling
For
my
sure.
story and what I've been through, you
No,
know.
that's real.
And the outdoor space, it's for everybody, and I tell
Oh,
everybody
for
that.
sure. That's a
And
fact.
I just tell my story just to help somebody else that might be going through that same struggle. Be like, man, I don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable going over here to this
Yep.
certain space. Like, yeah, I've been in that space too, but
Yeah.
I'd say 90% of the time I'm cool. Like I can find
Yeah.
common ground with anybody, but that 10% that I have experienced that
Yep.
racism is just like, they've always usually been older cats, just
Mm-hmm.
got that mentality, you know what I'm saying? That's just been
Yeah.
instilled with them. But I feel like some of the younger generation is kind of getting stamped out a little bit. Like it's still there,
Yep.
but it's not as bad as it used to be.
No, that's
So
I can definitely see that. I can definitely
yeah,
see
for
that, and
sure.
that's a benefit like of where I'm at, like in Tennessee. I feel like just there's like a nice blending. There's like outskirts of different locations where it's like, oh, maybe I would think a little bit differently, but I also know like those outskirts. I hear of crazy stories that some of my white buddies are also going through while they're out there trying to hunt because they're just not the local people. And it's
Right.
like you
Yeah.
don't belong here. Like you're not one of us. Like get away from here. And that's where like I think the biggest thing for me, especially you talk about like just the community, but even more so like building up like like my brother, for example. I'm like, man, like we need more of us shooting. Like just from like a pure number standpoint. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
so isolating. And it's like because there's a lot of young just I mean, there's just a lot of black people that would enjoy it. Like
Yeah.
whether they know it or not, like then they touch it and it's like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like this is fun. Like where's this been my whole life? I mean, that was kind of like me growing up. Now that I'm touching it, it's like, okay, how do I make more people like aware of this and get into it and make it like and that was another thing of why I even started a YouTube channel because at first it was just like this is stupid. I'm not gonna waste my time. Like it's extra effort. But then when I was trying to find other people that kind of resembled me, and just to see like what other guys are doing, I'm like, oh, there's like one senior pro in ASA that I can look up that's black, that's doing some pretty good things. But beyond that, like there's not many of us anywhere. And I'm like, why not? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why not? And now the cost of entry in some of the sport could be hard, but like there's still a lot of progression. I mean, we're spending money. It's not like it's not like a money thing. Like sometimes it's just a priority thing, whether it's the I buy the shoes or I buy the tool. And it's like, why not teach be outside of the competition thing, but like on the side of literally you can feed your family with this and it's way more healthy. We talk about the government and all these other things and that are in that's in our food in America. And it's like, oh, we're not doing this. It's like, okay, well, if we're going to complain about it, let's do something about it. And that's where for me is like when I figured out that I can hunt, get real like organic meat and grind it up myself. I bought my own grinder, doing my own processing. So like cost of entry, like yeah, it seemed like a lot. Where when I got my grinder, when I got my dehydrator, so I can make my own jerky, like all of those things. But now they're gonna last a lifetime. Like, and I can keep on running with that. So even if, God forbid, we got World War III breakout, and then we're trying to figure out like our running grocery system, and then you got a COVID situation where you can't even go get your food. It's like as long as we got like a way to freeze it, because I haven't learned how to preserve without a freezer just yet. But like
Right.
if we can learn how to like actually live and like off not just off the land, but like actually live and eat properly, like why not encourage more people to do it? And so that's especially those that aren't necessarily getting exposed to it. Because I know for me, my church, my community, we were not talking about that at all. Like that just wasn't it. That just wasn't what we did. We looked at it, we kind of laughed and thought it was just for the other guys. And I'm like, nah, like it's for us. We belong here.
Right. Absolutely. So, what kind of impact do you want to leave for your presence, social media wise, for like the next generation of like hunters and archers?
Man, impact. I you know, I don't really think about it from like a social media standpoint. Um
Yeah, because I feel
that's a good
like with
question.
us who have social media pages, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, somebody young is going to find our
Mhm.
pages and they're going to watch what we're doing,
For
and
sure.
they're going to have some type of impact from what we're talking about. So, you
Yeah.
know,
I guess
I want to leave a good, a good mark for the next generation to be like, okay, he's trying
for
to help
sure.
the young archers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what kind of presence do you want to? What kind of impact do you want to leave?
I think an impact that I really want to leave is one that you can have fun without all the extra, whether that be drinking, drugs, or whatever. Like you can be great without doing dirt to other people. And I think just the idea of like it's also okay to have fun, like and just doing it the right way. Like and it's also okay to suck and get better and show the progression along the way. Whether it's
Hmm.
needed to show, like you don't need to show it, like it's not needed, like it's more important to just continue to grow. But I think the idea of being willing to see failure and being a part of failure and just knowing like it's something that I want to instill in my daughter personally and my son whenever he decides to pop out. But just a willingness to fail, but continuing to try over and over and over again. It's like if this is what you want, just keep on failing at it. Like because it means that you're putting a step forward and you're actually trying to pursue it. Like, and so when I say failure, I don't mean just falling on your face and then saying I got up and then fall again. It's like, no, like strive to take a step forward, like fall forward. I always tell my guys, like, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. And then when you're able to run, you're strong enough, you're able to get up. If that baby stopped trying to walk, then he's never going to learn how to walk. It's like babies are resilient because they don't know any better. They're just trying to do what everybody else is doing around them, which is walking and talking. And so they're just trying to like do that. And so just like if we could create positive influences, so I guess like personally like giving an image of no, one a family man, one also a guy that's willing to do shooting games that don't involve just drinking every day and be like, yeah, we're having fun with our buddies and we're getting wasted and oh, it's funny I missed my shot or whatever. It's like, no, like it's okay to keep it clean It's okay to keep it PG and be an adult along the way, and not feeling like you got to do it like, well, no, all of us are doing this and getting whatever. I'm not going to keep on repeating that. I just think good, clean fun, and that it's okay to fail and continue to push forward, I think is the biggest thing. And so when I talk about like my ASA recaps or my TAC recaps with my brother, whether it be the dubs or the losses along the way, I just think it's important to kind of log those. One for personal journey, something I can share with my kids one day. But as you said, also the ones that are watching, just to see like, you know what? He said that he was going to go compete. He did better than he thought he was going to do, but then also not as good as he hoped to do. But then he came back, did worse or did better, whatever. It's like if I can just log real life struggles, um, but then showing the joy at the end of the rainbow as well, I think that's what it's really all about. And just trying to keep it as honest and unedited as possible, but obviously palatable for somebody to want to watch it.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, that I think is the biggest message, biggest thing that I'm trying to get across.
So to you personally, what does success in the outdoors look like to you? Was it trophies, ASA wins, growth, just peace, community? Like what does success look like to you in the outdoors?
Gosh, all the above. And that's sort of like I don't. I really. I I remember I was talking to my dad. Like, what's your scoreboard? Like, how do you know like you did all that you were supposed to do at the end of the day? Like, and I just was like really trying to pursue that, trying to understand it. So like as I was stepping into fatherhood, so that I didn't go to sleep wanting, like and feeling like I failed, even though I did 10 things off my 15-page to-do list. It's like, but like I needed to do the other five because like I'm a guy that just wants to do it. Like I want to get it right. I want to get it right. I want to get it right. And I want to get it right yesterday. And so the idea of hunting trophies, like, yeah, that excites me. But is that like the end all be all? Is it worth like losing all the time with my family? No. But like if I get the opportunity, I see some good sign and I'm gonna push it, then yeah, like I'm gonna try to push it. But also understanding, as you talked about, no, I got a football game. I'm not picking hunting over the football game. Like I'm not gonna pick the ASA over my family time, because ASA is truly a hobby right now. If it was my job and I needed to do it and I was getting paid for it, maybe that's a different conversation. But at the end of the day, like my hobby is never going to prioritize over my family time. And so like
Amen.
if I think about success in my outdoors is properly prioritized time, guilt free, with successful field freezer, um, and some dubs, and some dubs and some ASAs and some dubs in the indoor game as well. Shooting very clean 300s plus 20 plus X counts. Those would be some things that I would find a success inside of the archery game. And then the thing that trumps it all is definitely the antlers. I mean, I was fortunate for my first kill to be a really nice buck. And every year since then, I've been able to harvest some antlers, some decent ones at that. And so, if I can keep that kind of a part of the journey, that would be great. And that's where, by the end of the year, by Christmas time, I'm like, Jenna, I love you, but I need to go find me some antlers.
Mhm.
So, I think those are all things that I kind of are check marks along the way, but I definitely don't have one that's in isolation other than the prioritizing and guilt free. Because if I accomplish all those things and sacrifice the thing that's most important, then I've lost my soul, and none of those things are worth it.
I love it, man. That family time is very crucial. You know, I love hunting just like the next man, but like I said,
For
like this
sure.
morning, I could have been out in the woods with my best friend, but
Yep.
my son had a football game, and you know,
That's
I'm
it.
not missing my
That
son's football
wins.
game to
I love
go
it.
hunt. You know,
Exactly.
I enjoy watching them run that peel, and it's fun, man. He's fun to watch. This is his first year he's playing tackle, man, and it's been a
Oh
journey, man.
man,
He
that's
loves it,
awesome.
and so you
That's
know,
really really
I'm
awesome. I
not
love to
I'm
hear it.
not I'm prioritizing him over everything. That's my dude.
Good,
So
good, good.
yeah, man, I got some some rapid fire questions here for you. So the first thing that
All
comes to
right.
your mind, roll with it. So
All right.
your your favorite bow brand and model.
Gosh, Matthews Title 38 because it's what I own.
Got you. Your favorite season, early season, mid season, or late season?
Probably late season because that's when I've harvested most of my bucks. Literally
Got you.
at the end of everything, and they start getting on their normal patterns again.
That's what's up. If you could hunt anywhere in the world, where would it be and what you hunting for?
Oh, I would definitely. I don't even know where the best hunting would be. Montana is just in my head, but I would love to actually do like a legit call sequence and hunting some elk. Like that to me, as a guy that claims to be fit, likes to actually be in the woods, walking and moving. Like I'm really curious what that's all about and learning how to hike, like pack it out, the actual struggles of it. Cause literally all my bucks, a random side note, but like those never get dragged. Like every picture, anything that's anybody that's ever hunted with me, like ever since the very beginning, I carried my first buck out non-gutted across like a lake, and it wasn't a big lake, it was just a little stream actually, but it was up to my waist, and there's just something about it like, I learned how to gut later on, but that first time I had no idea what I was doing, and I just needed
Yeah,
to get it to where my buddy could get to me. But yeah, there's something about just carrying it on my back that just makes me like, I don't know, it feels primal, I guess. It feels like it just is just part of the process, and it's just become a habit at this point. So yeah, having the elk quarters on my back, walking however many miles I would have to walk, like I don't know, that just sounds fun to me.
yeah, you're a beast. I am not carrying no buck on my shoulders. I'm sorry. So, who's one dream collaboration or outdoor brand that you'd love to work with?
Gosh, outdoor brand or dream collaboration. Um, I would really, really, really love to. I talked about Kyle Douglas earlier. Collaboration. I would love to actually pick his brain and shoot with him one day. Like I actually talked to him at one of the ASAs just in passing. Like, oh, what's up, guy? I know I'm older than you, or potentially, I don't know, but like, I like how you shoot. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, he just seemed like a really down to earth guy. Really think that would be cool. And then obviously collaboration. I mean, the gear that I shoot, there's a reason why. So any of the gear that I shoot, whether it be Victory arrows or Matthews, like that would be super dope. Like, but yeah,
yeah. Kyle's a
mess around
beast,
and get
man.
True Ball. True Ball can hit me up too.
Yeah,
I'll be okay with that.
yeah. Kyle's a beast, man. Yeah, he
Yeah, he's
definitely is for
definitely
sure. Is
nice.
he is he back? Is he
Definitely.
with back with Matthews or is he with Bowtech?
Nah, he's with Matthews. Yeah,
He's with
Bowtech did
Matthews.
him dirty a
He
few
was
years
with Bow.
ago.
Yeah,
They
he
dropped
was with
him
Bowtech. Yeah, they
mid-season.
dropped. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
it was crazy, crazy. And so I doubt he'll, unless Matthews really does something crazy, which I highly doubt because they take care of their shooters, it seems like.
they do.
I don't see him
They
leaving. So,
they do.
yeah.
All right, man. Last
Uh,
question. What's
yeah,
one message you want the people to remember about you and your outdoor journey?
man. I guess I would say the most important message. I know we talked about family, we talked about the outdoor stuff, but I think like understanding the creator, and at the end of the day, the creator that created it all deserves our respect, has earned it, whether it's his son dying on the cross or just him speaking the world into existence. Um, I think it's real. He did it. Like it's hard for me to look at a tree and see the resemblance of my lungs and realizing the relationships between the two. But then looking at a screen and being like, how did somebody not create this? Like, and if somebody can rationalize a better creator, then okay, then let's have that conversation. I would love to have the dialogue and actually go through the weeds. Like I encourage those types of questions and trying to figure out who God is, what God's all about. I think it's important, but also not just rhetorical questions that you're not actually expecting questions to, or that you think that are already answered. Like asking those questions with open minds, with the actual open book to actually dig and figure out what that Bible's talking about. And so I think if there's the most important message that I want to leave people with is seek God, figure out who he is. And if you come up wanting, then I'm sorry. But just like it says in Matthew, I think it's 7:7, where it's knock and the door will be open, seeking you will find. Like I truly
Yes,
believe in
sir.
that. And at the end of the day, if you really pursue him with all your heart and you have that conviction on your heart, where I think that he will truly answer that. And we just have to genuinely seek after. And so, whatever that looks like on the day to day hustle and bustle and grind, we talked about keeping the priorities, whether that be my personal quiet time in the morning, personally actually reading and not just relying on my pastor or my community to lift me up, but understanding like, no, like I have the power of the Holy Spirit in me. And I'm not talking about like, touch you, you're healed. Like that's
Yeah.
not what I'm getting at when I say that. I mean, like I have the ability to call like on God and ask for peace in the midst of a storm, like, and know
Right.
that he can, if he could quiet those waters, like he can quiet my mind, whether it be like whatever spirits that just feel uncomfortable thing, visions or whatever. It's like it's okay for God to operate in those like weird dark places. And I think it should be important, and super vital. So those are some things that I think are, you talked about my message and things that I really want people. It's like, yeah, I want people to be better in pursuit of failure and all of that. But I think if we can get that in order and not just fake the funk, even those of us that are claiming Christian, but ain't read our Bible, ain't prayed, ain't talked to nobody about Jesus and forever, it's like at the end of the day, like, nah, we gotta do better. Cause if he actually died for us and we say we believe that, and then we live
Yes,
like
sir.
in completely unchanged lifestyle, it's like, what are we actually doing? Like, what is this for? And so that's really what life's about, because
Yeah.
we're living for heaven, eternity, but he called us to be fishers of men. And so that's what I
That's right.
think is definitely the most important message,
That's
that
what's
if I
up.
could carry across, that's the one I want to carry.
Heck yeah. Well, boys, I think we need to pause for a praise break. This boy's preaching right now.
Chill out. Yo, my dude is
Hey, we need to pause for a praise break. This boy's preaching right now. I'm about to get my tambourine out. Hey.
Yo, I'm so done.
Hey, we got Pastor Alderman on right now, ladies and gentlemen. We got Pastor Alderman, ladies and gentlemen. The collection plate is being passed around right now.
Chill out.
Whatever it feels on your heart to give right now. We do this through Outdoors Church.
No way. I'm
Hey,
so
man,
done.
You
I am
preaching,
so
dog.
Hey, I didn't realize. I thought I was just talking.
Hey,
Man,
man, he was preaching, but
you are
man, I love it. I
hilarious.
love it,
You are
man.
hilarious.
I'm a religious man myself, man, and everything you was getting in there, man. I was about to throw a few amens in there with you, man.
Oh man, I cannot.
You know how they do in the Baptist church? You got that old deacon in the corner. Take your time.
Take your time. Yo, oh my gosh. That is hilarious. This said, take your time. I haven't heard that in a minute. I grew up around that, boy.
Man,
That's
me too,
funny.
man. I got two
That's funny.
pastors in the family, my Uncle Kenny and then his son, man, and like, you know, just growing
Okay.
up those old Baptist churches and hearing them old
Yeah.
deacons, and you know, we grew up in them backwoods churches, man, you know, so yeah,
Your church is different than mine. Your church is different than mine.
Yeah, we them most Southern Baptists around here, you know what I'm saying? So
man.
but yeah, man,
That's all right.
thoroughly appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. Great conversation, man. I think it's a lot was said in this podcast, man. I think that needs to be on wax. A lot of people will resonate with it, man. So how can people get a hold of you if they want to ask you any questions about anything that was said today?
Yeah, no, they can find me on Instagram. It is Black Blocks Archery, like I think it's like underscore under all of that. I have it self-titled. I have a personal one as well. People end up finding that, which is just William Alderman, because it's the same thing that my YouTube is found on. But I don't post a lot on my personal account, and if I do, it's random, whether it be like one archery picture with 5 other family photos in between. So if you want to see my family photos, good on you. But Black Box Archery is that. And then on my YouTube channel, as I said, is William Alderman. Is just self-titled, just kind of logging the journey of how all these things of just the idea of trying to be better in archery, but also in all other aspects of my life. So yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, this podcast will be out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and sportsmanempire.com. You can get on there and check everything out. It'll also be on my personal YouTube page, and everything that I post leading up to that, Mr. Alderman will be in, and I'll tag him so he can share it with his followers and everything on Instagram. So if you got any questions about anything, you can ask me, you can ask Mr. William, man. We're both open books. If we don't know the answer, I will definitely find you the answer. But
we'll look for it, but I'll tell you.
But yeah, we had some good conversation today. We had a little bit of church right there at the end. So you guys, stay tuned for this podcast, and I'm gonna leave you with this tag that I have never used before, but I'm gonna use it right now because I feel like after that whole thing, we need to play it. So y'all stay tuned. Here we go.
I'm talking about bucks, shut them down. Does, well, turkey, gabba gabba. Ducks, quack quack. Does, rabbit, wow. Quail, yeah. Squirrel. This is so out of pocket. Groundhog, gator. Oh my God. Elk. Hey.
Wow.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, we do this Two Outdoors podcast. Big game, small game, all game. We do this too.
Hey, we do.
It's your boy, C. Will. What the hell?